stop sitting inside your car. So my homegirl last night almost got robbed sitting in her car in a very well-to-do neighborhood, established neighborhood, and everything, right? So she's sitting out front of her house. You know, she's taking a moment to decompress, you know, and take a moment before she has to start, you know, mommy duties, you know. So she said she was sitting in the car for like 15 minutes. She said all of a sudden, this guy jumps in the passenger seat with a gun. And she said she was freaked out. So he's going through her stuff, give me your money, give me your money. Her phone was in her jacket. He didn't even ask for that. So then he was like, we're going in the house. So she grabs the keys out of the ignition. She grabs the keys and then proceeded to get out the car and run. So she's hoping that he's going to chase her, but he didn't. What he did is that he went and knocked on the door. So she called her daughter and was like, don't open the door. Don't open the door. He's robbing. Call the police. He's a man with a gun outside. She calls the police. She said, Joe, the police was there within like 30 seconds. They were right down the street. So she comes down. He runs. They catch him. Come to find out, it was the neighbor's son's friend, right? That came to visit. He was sitting outside, you know, smoking. Everybody's okay. Everybody's okay. Everybody's cool. But ladies, you have to stop sitting inside your cars. I know, you know, you just want to decompress. I know you want to do that. But you got to stop sitting inside your cars. Now, here's the deal. If you're going to sit inside your car, there's a feature in some of these cars that once you put the car in park, it unlocks the doors. Turn that feature off. Yeah, it's an extra step. Turn that feature off. Also, if you're going to listen to music, listen to it on your phone or whatever the case. I don't know. But you have to be ready to go if something happens. And if you can, another thing you can do is back inside the driveway. So at least you can see the street and see who's coming. Her back was towards the street. So she didn't even see him coming, right? Be very mindful of these things. Be very mindful of these things. And another thing, do not leave your garage door open. And a lot of people, I see a lot of, even in my neighborhood, a lot of women do that. They ready to go in, but they keep their garage door open for whatever reason. Listen, man, we don't live in those times anymore, and things are getting a little rough out here. And we have to be very mindful and be very cautious of what we do. It could have ended up really bad, all right? And it doesn't matter where you at. It doesn't matter where you at, neighborhood you live in, or bad neighborhood and a good neighborhood. Crime is crime. Crimes are opportunities. That's all it is. That's all it is. Take care.
Here is how to stay safe alone as a girl. We live in a dangerous world, especially for women. Please watch this through to the end because some of these tips could save your life. Get something to harm somebody with. Of course, do this legally. Go and find out the laws and regulations for, you know, lengths of blades you're allowed to carry as protection, if you're allowed to bring pepper spray with you, and what type of just protection you're allowed to carry in general. It's very important that you make sure it's legal, otherwise it can be a bit sticky if you get caught with something illegal on you. This is for my girlies that drive a car. I know we love making everything cute and girly. I know we're just girls, okay? But please avoid making your car look girly. This can make you a target for because they look for cars that are like yassified and all girly and so on, and you can potentially become a target. I wanted to do it with my car and I'm avoiding that completely because I prefer to keep myself safe rather than have a cute steering wheel. Also, another one is if you're walking to your car, especially at night, always check under your car from a distance to see if there's anybody hiding under or around it and so on. Traffickers do things like this, and a lot of them will actually slice your Achilles. If you don't know what your Achilles is, it's basically a tendon, and once sliced, it makes it damn near impossible. You can't walk. walk, basically. You will immediately drop to the ground. Take the Uber. Listen to me. Take the Uber. I've seen so many women walking home from work late at night, from the club late at night by themselves, some even drunk. Are you crazy? This is for women that especially live in areas that are more quiet, and even if you have routes that are quite like dangerous to walk through, like underpasses and like dark parks, take the Uber, call a friend, preferably a female friend, because we even have to be wary of our male friends nowadays, and see if you can get someone to drive you home safely. I know Ubers and taxis can be dangerous as well, but it still is safer than walking. Your life is worth more than £20. Don't unnecessarily go out at night. I know so many girls that like to go on night walks and go gallivanting at night for no reason. If it's like a weekend and it's a Saturday and you live in a busy city and there's lots of people around, okay, fine, that's better. But if you live in a quiet little town and there's not much people around, please do not go taking yourself on night walks. Are you crazy? If you live alone, please make sure you see what legal weaponry you can keep in your house. And if you live somewhere where you can get a gun license, even better, get a gun. And the last and final one is be wary of that guy. Don't take yourself on every date and watch where you go to dates on. My personal policy is assume every single guy is a threat. And I don't want to hear men talking in the comments going, but well, no, it's not all men. We understand that. But at the end of the day, it's many of you. Even with male friends that you've known for years, family members, all of that, be wary and do not put yourself in a position where you can potentially be harmed by any of them. Don't go on every date, meaning some guys will show who they are from the start. And if you're not particularly comfortable, do not let yourself get peer pressured into going anywhere with a guy or meeting a guy anywhere. If you have any type of intuition, any type of gut feeling that's saying, no, I don't want to meet this guy, don't go. My grandma used to say, it's not every time that someone calls, you must go, because sometimes they could be calling you to your death. And that is very, very true. If you have a feeling, don't go. And this one is so important. I've had so many female friends make, I'm sorry if you see this and it offends you, but the decision is dumb and no girl should be doing this. Do not meet a guy that you don't really know that well in enclosed spaces where it's basically just you two. And definitely do not meet him in a place like his house and stuff when his boys are there and all of that. Never do something like that, ever. And if you do something like that, you are stupid and you need to reevaluate yourself and get smart, because that can get you in a lot of trouble, okay? And I have to be harsh with this because I've seen so many girls make decisions like this and it's not safe. Do not have a first date with him in his car. Do not have a first date with him in his house. Do not have a first date with him in any type of area that you've never been before, so that seems kind of sketchy. Always meet him in an open area, in a place where you're familiar with lots of people around. Do not let him pick you up from your house or drop you home and know your address. You get someone to drive you, you take Uber, you do something else, because some of these guys can turn out to be absolute stalkers, crazy, and so on, and you don't want to give them your information if you do not know this guy well. Like, remember, this is a stranger you're meeting, so treat him like he's a stranger. Men, please do not be in my comments talking about it's not all men, oh, men experience attacks and stuff too, when we get robbed, and I know this. Women have to worry about all the things that men experience and more. Unfortunately, we are big targets for terrible things because we are vulnerable and because of the industry. I know I smiled and made a few jokes throughout this video, but this is actually a very, very serious issue, and I'm so upset that videos like this even have to be made, or this has to be thought about, but it must be done. I have so many other tips to give on this topic that can help keep women safe and protect us every single day. So if you guys want a part 2, a part 3, part 4, all of that, please let me know in the comments, because I'd love to make it again. And that is...
Ladies, if possible, take a self-defense class. I'm planning 2025 to take a self-defense class. Make sure you're protecting yourself, because in the world that we are right now, there's so much going on. We have to protect ourselves. Nobody is, even sometimes the police. Make sure you're not sitting in your car with the car running. It's not locked. Listen to the stitches that are put here of what this happened to these ladies. And myself, so many stories. Make sure you have a kind of car. If not, get a camera to the front, to the back of your car. Protect yourself. Make sure you're not having the same routine every time. You're very predictable in how you roll. Even how you post on social media, be careful. Don't disclose your address. So part 2, make sure that you have something, a pepper spray, some type of something on you that I'm not going to mention so I don't get canceled. Cameras are very available. What else? Making sure you're aware if you're walking, don't be on your phone, texting. You're totally not attuned to your environment wherever you are. I teach my kiddos this, teach your kids to be aware of their environment, because kids can get sucked into their phones. They are not really paying attention. People are falling into pools, into water, getting like injuries because they are so absorbed into their phone. But can you imagine doing that and you don't really know of what's going on around you and somebody jumps you? Making sure when you're parked somewhere, you're facing the front, you're always looking at your back. You have to be vigilant.